will Brock Purdy live up to his new contract? Let's dive right into it. Obviously, he signed a new deal in the offseason. Here's my take, and I'll just lead into it straightforward, Smitty. No, he will not. And here's why he will not. And it's deeper than people think. He can't. Not possible. First of all, he was a bus rider on a team that was possibly the most loaded roster of the last 3 years. Couldn't get it done. Got there, smelt it, tasted it. Couldn't get it done. Then, guess what, Smitty? They got rid of how many players this offseason? And did they replace those great players yet? Not that I heard of, not that I know of. So, no, he will not live up to that contract, Smitty. It's an impossibility. He can't do it. He don't have enough players around him. Even when he had them, he didn't get it done. How's he going to do it without him? That's my take, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I say no, he won't live up to it because I think the expectations in San Francisco is Super Bowl or bust. Like every year he's here. Like this year, next season, as long as he's a San Francisco 49er, it's Super Bowl or bust. There's nothing underneath that. That franchise is historical, and again, they've made it to the promised land multiple times and fell short. Play here, play there. Not necessarily blaming Purdy per se. I mean, he gets hurt one year, they get out of the NFC Championship game. They make it the other year. He actually outplays Mahomes, but just not enough. They made it with Jimmy G. It just falls short. And, I think while, all those years they could have won, now it kind of seems like they might have missed their window. Now, do I think they're going to be a bad team this year? No, I actually think they'll still be solid. Still got a Brandon Ayuk who will be on the I think the PUP list or whatever the first 4 weeks, but then they'll be expecting him to come back and at least be 80 to 90% of himself. CMC will still be solid. You got Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall is the guy who I think they're counting on to kind of be like replace Debo from a production standpoint. George Kittle's still there, still got their own line. They got a lot of the really good pieces still. Defensive side as well. Fred Warner leading the way, so I think there'll still be a very tough out. You got Shanahan. I think they're a playoff team, a competitive team, but I just don't, as of right now, where things stand, I don't look at them as a Super Bowl threat. I think they're a playoff threat. They're a divisional winning threat. I don't think they're a Super Bowl champion threat. And to me, that's the only thing that he could really do that would account for him, for the money being paid. Now listen, he could prove us wrong and go out there and be an MVP candidate next couple years. I just don't see that. To your point, JB. He still has weapons, don't get me wrong, but we saw last year that, man, one injury here, one injury there, and they have to lean on him more than ever before. You can't fully depend on that. So I say no.
Yeah, 23 was Purdy's best season. Threw for 4,200 yards. And I'm seeing a comparison in the chat, which is asinine.
What they saying?
They're comparing him and sitting up here telling me that he's better than Jimmy G, and I don't know what I'm talking about. Now, let me be clear here. If you're comparing the guy to Jimmy G, and that's what you're standing on, you're a fucking idiot. So I'm confused as fuck. By the way, Jimmy G actually was a starter on a team that went 13-3 and went to a Super Bowl. I don't know if you knew all that. He threw for 4,000 yards also, just so we're clear. For a guy that's so mid and garbage, he threw 4,000 yards and led a team 13-3 went to the Super Bowl.
I hate the disrespect Jimmy G gets. I know he ain't no star, but
that's who we're comparing. That's who we're comparing. Like, these motherfuckers comparing him like he's way better than Jimmy G, JB. What, you're tripping. Like, Jimmy G is the fucking level we're setting the bar at, homie. Holy shit, you're doing bad. When they say you're down bad, what the youngsters say?
You're down bad.
You're down bad. 49ers, your motherfuckers are down bad.
And I like Jimmy G personally, but for what you're saying, we're talking about a guy who's one of the highest paid in the league right now, and you're comparing him to a guy, Jimmy G. It's like, come on now.
Like, a fucking journeyman. A journeyman. Fucking journeyman.
Now to combat what we all just said, speaking of Jimmy G, at one point in time in his career, he was making like $27 million a year. And at the time, that was not one of the highest paid in the league. So again, the market is the market is the market. If you have a good season or a couple decent seasons right around the time your contract is up and you're a quarterback, you're going to be paid probably somewhere in that top 10, top 5 money. That just is.
Smitty, I got to be real. Here's the first thing I want to dive into. Number one, goes back to my first original statement about Shanahan and the Niners organization and Lynch and everything that they've done. They've built this unbelievable roster. They've been to multiple Super Bowls and haven't got it done. And here's the issue. Who is the main part of the puzzle that always seems to be missing when it comes up?
Quarterback.
Jimmy G, we're arguing, went 13-3 and went to a Super Bowl. Again, what is the common denominator with the 49ers? The most loaded roster in the NFL, Smitty, lacked having a quarterback, even during the Jimmy G era. And the most loaded roster in football lacked having a quarterback with Brock Purdy the last 2 years and lost Super Bowl. I'm just telling you, dog. Make it make sense. Tell me I'm wrong when it comes down to why are we we had a viral video, a fucking Ferrari with goddamn hubcaps. Again, a loaded roster without a quarterback. The Niners had Joe Montana and Steve Young, homie. Then Jeff Garcia came along and was unbelievable and and then Kaepernick went to a Super Bowl. Come on, homie, start figuring this shit out. They have lacked a quarterback in the organization since Steve Young retired. Stop playing with me. I'm just tired of hearing with this bullshit. The guy's an overachiever and an under-deliverer when it comes to Shanahan.